Here from my new home in Portugal. We're in Araira, which is about 25 minutes outside of Lisbon. And I'm here today because it's just been on my spirit to declare that this is big moves season. All right. It's not just me making a big move across the Atlantic. It's not just me turning my beautiful, transformational, but smaller than it should be, strugglier than it should be business into a bona fide empire, right? It's time for you to do those things too. All right. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about how empires are built. I want to talk to you a little bit today about big moves and big decisions. Because whether your big dream is to move to a new country or to start a big transformational, gorgeous business empire of your soul, there's one of the things that I keep seeing people get hung up on is decisions. Even the prospect of making the big decisions that they would need to make to build their big empire is actually holding some of y'all up. So decisions, the fear of making big decisions, the idea or the prediction that those big decisions you'll need to make will drain you and deplete you of energy. Or I'm like, hey guys, just take the natural next step. And some of y'all are like, I'm not willing to because I don't even have enough energy to do what you need to do right now. So making a big move that might cause you to need to make a lot of other big decisions feels very daunting. And that creates this sense of unclarity. One of the number one obstacles that I'm hearing people say they have when it comes to being their big selves, making their big moves, doing their big dreams, building their empires, is just unclarity. All right. It feels like the decisions will be hard. It feels like they'll maybe even be exhausting. There is a luxury and a challenge that comes along with living a life that's radically aligned to yourself, getting off that treadmill, checking those boxes of what someone else calls success. Because when you get off that treadmill, there is no checklist for you. And that can cause you to feel really adrift. So I'm here today to tell you that you're not adrift. You're untethered, and untethered is radically liberating. And I'm also here today to tell you that there is another wonderful way to approach the big decisions that you're going to make the big moves and build the big empire that you came here, that you were born to build. All right. So think about this. The way that you've always made decisions in the past, the way that most people are making all their big decisions in life, is by spending 90% of their decision making process, 90% of their time trying to avoid unwanted outcomes. All right. People are not out here making their decisions. Even the most awake and alive and authentic and aligned people are not generally out here making decisions based on that. They're making their big life decisions out of the desire to avoid unwanted outcomes. And I'm here to tell you today that that is not how that is not how empires of the soul are built. Okay. They are built by recalibrating your nervous system, your belief system, and especially waking up from your core trance, waking up from fear or scarcity or unworthiness or trauma or whatever it is that is the dominant fear based thought habit that you've been thinking for so long in such a steady, low grade running way in the back of your mind that it's actually become your worldview, your lens for the world without you knowing that's what's happened. Dr. Young said, until you make the conscious unconscious, it'll rule your life and you'll call it fate. You'll just think it's how the world works. All right. So empires aren't built by making your big decisions in an effort to avoid unwanted outcomes. Empires are built by first waking up from your core trance of fear, scarcity, unworthiness, or trauma, then actualizing, which means to learn everything you can learn about who you really came here to be, your true sacred self, the deconditioned before all that programming and conditioning you picked up that told you you had to perform, conform, and produce to get love or be worthy or earn your spot on the planet or avoid unwanted shit from happening to you. Uh-huh. That true self and your human design. That's why I teach human design in conjunction with business strategy, because your human design is like a treasure chest. It's like a golden key to understand who you really came here to be, and accompanied with, integrated with all these strategies for how to make the right decisions for you at the right time, the right opportunities, right people, right decisions, right strategies at the right time. So, what I'm calling you to in this empire season, in this big move season, is to what I call the great recalibration. That is just a radical commitment to know your true sacred self, to love your true sacred self, to love it enough that you're willing to get radically countercultural, reject whatever the cultural definitions of success are that you've learned, right? And decide that the entirety of what success is to you is to know yourself, love yourself, and create a whole life, including a business that is radically congruent with your true self, allows your true self to be who you are, expresses and accommodates who you really are. So that's the step that we call actualizing. And when you do it, part of the next step, which is called alignment, that's all of the inspired actions you need to take to build your empire, all of the decisions you'll need to make to live the life you were born to live, all of your, when you've done the recalibration first and then the actualization, then the alignment gets way, way easier. You stop hearing yourself say all the time, I'm unclear, I need clarity. Your decisions get clearer and simpler and less exhausting because you're no longer in the energy of trying to avoid the trillions of unwanted outcomes that could happen. You're no longer in the energy of troubleshooting. You're no longer in the energy of perfectionism. You're no longer thinking you got to get it all right, right? This is an energy, the energy you step into when you build your empire according to my method, the Aligned to Millions method, or build your life according to our self mastery method. When you recalibrate first and then you actualize, then your decisions get so much simpler, so much clearer, so much less exhausting, because you are in a place of radical trust that everything is always working out for you. So you no longer have to get it all right. You no longer have to perform, conform, or produce. The decisions you make actually turn out much better in ways that really freaking work for you, in ways that really do make you, get you that big love, that big money, being your big self, living your big dreams, because your decision rules get really freaking simple. They look like this. Your decision rule becomes, am I lining up with my big self? Including, am I following my human design strategy, right? Am I doing my big dreams? Am I lining up to my big dreams, right? Including, am I no longer participating in things that are inconsistent with who I came here to be and what I came here to be, to have, learn, create, experience, right? One of the things that I see a lot of folks out here, a lot of my people, transformational entrepreneurs, maybe you got a business that's a little smaller, a little strugglier than you want it to be. One of the things that I see a lot of people participating in that is inconsistent with who they came here to be and what they came here to create is what I call I'll do it myself syndrome. I'll do it myself syndrome. So I'm going to come back to you tomorrow and I'm going to give you a little bit of a strategy. Actually, first, I'm going to tell you a story about how I used to participate in I'll do it myself syndrome, how I used to broadcast a moat that kept really great help away. And one manifestation that happened just last week that was kind of a revelation to me as I watched myself moving through the world and through my life and through my work and through my work relationships really differently than I used to. And it was a story that came up, an experience that I had in the context of doing the design, the final design for my new book, Aligned to Millions, which is about to go live any moment, like today. All right. So here's what I'm going to say. It's time for you to download a fresh and vivid Technicolor vision for your life. And it is time to line up to the big things that are in that vision. Okay. It's time to it's time to do some radical big healing, to heal from all do it myself syndrome, to attract in and line up to the big love, the big money, the being your big self, the doing your big dreams before you die, that you came here to experience. You didn't come here to be stuck. You didn't come here for an okay life. You came here for a technicolor life. All right. And that all of that is stuff that's included under the umbrella of the recalibrate stage of my process, of my framework that I'm going to keep teaching you about for at least a few days, maybe for the whole week. So I have some very big things coming for you. I've been kind of in the lab as I was moving to Portugal, as I was working on the Aligned to Millions book, as I was working on the Soul to Self Love journal. I have something very, very big coming for you, a big announcement we're going to make for you that will help usher you directly into your super bloom season. Big love, big money, big self, big dreams, building the empire of your soul. So if you want me to reach out directly to you and let you know when I crack the door open and invite just my inner circle in, just come into the comments and type, I'm ready to be my big self, or I'm ready to build my big empire, or type big love, big money, big self, big dreams, whatever is the big moves, whatever is feeling big and calling you right now, come into the comments, type big self, big love, big money, big dreams. I'm ready to be my big self, whatever it is, because that's what you will unfurl when you start letting yourself finally want what you really want. Get off that treadmill of checking somebody else's success boxes and start living that radical commitment to align to your true self, to know your true self, love your true self, create a whole life and a whole business that accommodates, expresses, and allows yourself to be who you really are. That's when the big money starts to flow. All right, guys, I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Come into the comments and let me know if you want me to reach out to you directly when I have my new big thing and I'm ready to invite you into it. All right, see you soon.